Hi, my name is Herbert Parsi. I'd like to thank you for joining me today on my presentation on cultural competency with adolescents. Please enjoy. Thank you. Adolescents are not yet full adults. They still have developing minds. They are not developed physically and or socially. They're highly influenced by their peers. They're highly influenced, especially by the adults. Um, Youth are known to follow in the footsteps of their older their older siblings as well as their parents. If their parents use drugs, most likely child is going to view drugs as acceptable. If their older siblings use drugs, most likely they're going to view drug use as acceptable. Adults were once children, once adolescents that actually started using in adolescence. Do you know that majority of adults that smoke cigarettes actually smoke cigarettes prior to 18 years old? Did you know that being a part of a social group could actually increase the chances of you actually using drugs and alcohol in the United States of America? A lot of our youth start using drugs at an early age. Black Americans celebrate birthdays, they celebrate holidays such as Christmas, um, Thanksgiving, and things of that nature. And their adults typically use drugs and alcohol to celebrate these festivities. Their actual perception of these things is a celebratory thing. Children look up to adults to look at their their activities to be kind of sort of like a rites of passage from childhood to adulthood. Latino communities usually also celebrate uh, maturity, such as the quinceañera, where the young lady passes on to be the woman, and a lot of drugs and alcohol are, you know, celebrated with at those particular events around the youth that inspire them to do as well. Did you know that the LGBTQ community are two times as likely than heterosexual communities to indulge in drugs and alcohol use? These are things that increase the chances of our youth, our adolescents using drugs and alcohol from a cultural stance. What do you think about using drugs? Do you have a family history of substance use disorder and or substance use at all? Are they favorable attitudes in your family on drug use? Did you ever grow up with poor monitoring, parental monitoring? Did your parents use drugs? Did your family reject you because of your sexual orientation or gender identity? Any association with delinquent peers in the past? Lack of school connectiveness? Any low academic achievements? Childhood sexual abuse or abuse at all at the childhood? Any mental illness, history of mental illness, unaddressed mental illness? If you fit the description or you have checked the box on any of these things, guess what? It increases your chances of using drugs and alcohol as an adolescent. Here are the preventative measures. parental or family engagement, parental support, family support, parental disapproval of substance use, good parental monitoring, school connectiveness, and healthy peers. Moving from one neighborhood to the next can be super stress on an adolescent. It's the fear of the unknown. Some adolescents may feel like the unknown is so stressful that they have to resort to using drugs and alcohol to suppress the feeling. Rejection. Rejection may result in insulation and increase the chances of drug and alcohol use. The ultimate accessibility of drugs and alcohol in that particular neighborhood. If it's increased, it may increase the chances of the youth, the adolescent actually trying drugs and alcohol. The need to fit in. The neighborhood that the child may be placed in may have an increased social aspect to using drugs and alcohol, and the youth in the community may have that as a cultural acceptance thing. I truly hope you enjoyed my presentation, and here are some resources for you to follow to take a look at and see where I got my information. Thanks again.